So Antigua and Barbuda is probably one of my favorite programs in the Caribbean. It's also the country that I've spent most time in the region. I think one of the best things about Antigua and Barbuda is that it's the most crypto-friendly country. And although right now that just means that you can show your proof of funds to go through the program with crypto, and that is really just a minor benefit because they allow you to basically show that you have the required funds to make the donation or the investment if you are approved with crypto, and you can hold that crypto until you are approved, that is some months down the line, and only when you are approved and you know that you can make the donation or the investment, you have to sell the crypto. That is the only country that allows that in the Caribbean. But I believe that this crypto friendliness will also impact the future of the program, and from our conversations they are more open to accepting crypto, to considering crypto, and hopefully they will follow more the steps of places like El Salvador, where crypto is accepted directly by the country, because I think that would solve a lot of the issues that the Caribbean in general faces, especially when it comes to banking. I would say Antigua, especially in the Caribbean region, it's not the most prestigious because that is St. Kitts, because it's the longest running program, but I would say it's the newcomer. It is the new program that has been doing a lot of things right. In terms of visa-free access, it's also the strongest. It's on par with St. Kitts and Nevis, and it has visa-free access to some destinations that might be appealing for some people. For example, South Africa. If you really like safaris and you want to have visa-free access to South Africa, then Antigua might be the option for you. It has visa-free access to Russia. So if you are interested in these specific visa-free destinations, that might be a good option for you. Also, it has the lowest tourist visa rejection rate in the US. So if you are planning to visit the US and you expect to need a tourist visa, and you want to use your Caribbean passport to get that US visa, then Antigua and Barbuda is probably the best option because of this lowest tourist visa rejection rate in the US. In terms of investment options in Antigua, it has basically two options for the donation. One is the National Development Fund, and the other one is the University of West Indies. They are very similar. Generally, if you are a big family, it's more cost effective to make a donation to the University of West Indies. And then they also have a real estate route as well as a business investment route. The business investment is quite high, so it's usually not very common at all. And then the real estate, it's a bit similar to the rest of the Caribbean region. It's government approved real estate, not that attractive if you are looking at it from an investment standpoint. In terms of processing, Antigua and Barbuda promises 3 to 4 months, and they are definitely not the smoothest in the region. They do a really good due diligence. That's why it has a really good visa-free access. It has a really good prestige in the international community, but they really require a lot of information, a lot of documents that usually it's generally not a problem, but it can be a bit slower at points. In Antigua and Barbuda, you cannot pass your citizenship down to further generations, only up to your grandchildren. So this is something to take into account, as in other places in the Caribbean, like St. Kitts and Nevis, you can pass it unrestrictedly. In Antigua and Barbuda, you can only pass it up to your grandchildren. So if having citizenship as a generational asset is something that you value, you might also consider this in the country where you are getting citizenship. Also for Antigua and Barbuda, a requirement that is a bit annoying for some people is having to visit for 5 days during the first 5 years after you get citizenship. Basically, your first Antigua and Barbuda passport that you will receive at home, you don't have to visit to get it, but it will only be valid for 5 years. And during those first 5 years, you will have to visit the country for 5 days. After that passport is renewed, you would get the standard renewal of 10 years, and you don't have to visit Antigua and Barbuda anymore if you don't want to. So it's a one-time thing, but it's something to consider. You could also say that this requirement makes the program stronger, especially when it comes to the European Union and the requirements and keeping the visa-free access to the EU, as the EU values that you have some substance in the country, that you are just not getting citizenship by investment, but you are also spending time there. So this is good for the future of the program, but like I said, it might be annoying for some people who want to basically just get the passport and forget about it. Also, from spending so much time in Antigua, I can say that it has some of the best infrastructure in the region, if not the best. For example, the airport is great. And that's a big part of your experience when you arrive to a new country and your first experience is the airport. It was built, I believe, with funds coming from the Citizenship by Investment program as well as foreign investment. So it's a really good airport, and that's something that you really appreciate. And then when it comes to the infrastructure, if you are, for example, planning to live in the country, it's also the best, along with St. Kitts and Nevis. The good thing about all these Caribbean options is that these countries are part of the Caribbean community. So you can get, for example, citizenship in Antigua and Barbuda and go live to St. Kitts and Nevis. You have settlement rights there. But for people who actually decide to spend more than 183 days a year in these countries to become tax residents and enjoy the general tax friendliness of these countries, Antigua and Barbuda is definitely one of the best options.